Ah, yeah, noises. Chainsaws next door, I guess. Hopefully. Maybe they're cutting down the pine trees, but no, I still see them all. But anyway, probably just the neighbors. Um, so yeah, it really is loud. But look how much water, the groundwater really dropped, but it's going to rain big tomorrow. It's surprising. It's a pretty big change in just a couple of days. Anyway, that's why the pond needs to be fixed. Yeah, it's just everything left of the rocks. All the cement is gone. Oh, now they turned on the chipper. Even better. Alright, anyway, Modern Mystic video. I guess I just talked to Nick directly. Sorry about the noise. Not within my control. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. Ooh, it's a little wet. So anyway, yeah, I just don't know why you can't communicate directly as a human being. Playing all these games. I'll apologize. You're not. Oh, I'm not a yob, but I am a yob, but I can't help it if I am a yob or whatever you're doing. I'm asking for a direct conversation, just direct statements, not this nonsense and these re-paraphrases of what I'm saying that are just grotesquely inaccurate, as if I'm saying there's a bunch of futures and I can pick one. No, it's just I'm not saying that as a truth. I'm saying that as human beings, as brains, that's how we function. When you went to the grocery store and you noticed the nice behind on the woman with the big nose, you could walk up to her and say, "You have a lovely behind, a bottom, but boy, that nose, shit, just fucks the whole deal." Now, you could do that. It's the truth. It's a nice thing to do, is to tell people the truth. When their house is on fire, good idea to tell them. Generally speaking, you never know, but generally speaking, from our perspective, we would say, yeah, it's probably a good idea. You see a little 5-year-old playing with a knife, you tell maybe you ought to take the knife out of its hands. Probably a great idea. This is how we live our lives. Now, are we sitting there saying we're changing the future? I'm deciding to change the future. Well, in a practical sense, that's sort of what's happening. Your brain is processing, it does react, and that's what it does. It affects the future. Now, presumably, you saw my last video about the past thing. I mean, I think it was really there's nothing but the past. And, our brain is basically making parts out of the past. It's taking parts that we learn in the past and it puts them together and creates a Frankenstein that we call our ideology or our perspective. Your Frankenstein said, well, it's probably not a good idea to inform the woman of her big nose, but she probably already has a whole psychological issues about it anyway, so why fuck her day for no good reason. And so that's sort of a pleasant Frankenstein. We could say that it's not so much of a monstrosity. The people have monstrosities as their Frankenstein, as the bits they've gleaned out of a past and what the residue, the echo that they are. It's a Frankenstein philosophy, a Frankenstein perspective. Oh, I really should move somewhere else. It is funny that I've been talking about how quiet it is, and I don't know why these neighbors particularly, they're always cutting something. They're always chopping at something. You'd think they'd run out of shit to chop and cut. Like it has to go on every week. They seem to have a chipper over there. Just seems rather excessive. Even from a rational economic perspective. You think he'd get that done once, not weekly. Anyway. It doesn't even get any better over here. Shit. The sound goes forever. Well, I'm not going to walk to work yet. Anyway, it's not very pleasant here. I'll jump across the stream. The stream. It's a pretty good stream, ain't it? It's leaves, slowly flowing. A slowly flowing leaf stream. All right. So continuing. Fuck. All right. So yeah. I mean, whatever. You want to whatever you're doing, go ahead, fine. Be you. While you talk and criticize other people being them, and pretend like your ego can't do anything else, or you're incapable of making a rational decision to, oh yes, I'll have a sensible conversation with the human race instead of a metaphorical, satirialistic one. Maybe they did, when they when they're fucking playing with your heart, maybe they twisted a screw wrong, and now you can't have direct conversation with anybody anymore, because your website is like that too. Your ziggly zaggly lines, your funny endings, you're doing all this shit that just seems like Operation Obscura. I mean, just keep trying to make it obscure, as if that's more intelligent. The intelligent people do that. They're obscure and obtuse. So yeah, be obscure and obtuse. But frankly, it's never appealed to me. So that's a fundamental difference between me and you. I get Monty Python. I don't get you. Okay, your humor or your wit is escaping me. It escapes functionality or use to me. My fault, your fault, doesn't really matter. It doesn't work as communication. And I don't think it's because I'm an idiot. But whatever, doesn't matter. So anyway, I don't think there's anything else to... I mean, I think, again, I've gleaned a little nugget out of this thing, is this idea that there has been an evolution of biology, through millions of years. And there has been an evolution of ideas and life philosophies. And we see them on YouTube. I mean, my last video, the past one, I think it has 15 likes and 9 dislikes. And it's just very disappointing when you see that and you just say, wow. I mean, this video, I think, was saying something really important, and it's being totally just not gotten. That's not being recognized. And then the comments section, My Misery and Me guy, under his other name, started arguing with that stupid Carla nut. And then the Carla nut said one of these typically stupid things, and you're just like, wow, we haven't even gotten past this stupidity. And it's back to that hard problem question of why would the biology create a motivating mechanism? And you're just totally stunned by this stupidity. Like, when we make a machine, we have an intent for the machine. We know what we want it to do, and we pull that intent off a shelf called programs, called hardware and software, to get the job done. Nature doesn't have that. Nature doesn't have a shelf somewhere where it can just pull a chip off and say this is the thinking chip or the doing chip or the processor. It doesn't have that. It had to make one of these things. It had to make a computer from fucking rocks. Alright? And it did one hell of a job when you think about it. I mean, it's made a fucking computer out of ziggly wigglies, out of cells. Pretty amazing job. And the fact that it doesn't function with the sensible rules of efficiency that we apply to a computer, it's laughable that somebody would have that expectation. Of course it has waste in it. The fact that, again, I've said in the videos, the biology attempted to create a value simulator, in a sense. It needed a mechanism called value so it could give the thinking program something to do. Okay, so it had to create the value, the agenda engine, first, before there's any point in having the thinking engine. And instead of creating a synthetic value engine, it created this sensation thing that is so visceral and substantive, that ended up creating what is the only real value in the universe, ironically. I've said this shit, and these people don't listen, and you're saying, why are they watching my videos? They obviously don't listen to them. They got to comment on every fucking one of them with their loop-de-doo monstrosity of a worldview. I mean, their fucking Frankenstein is the most hideous piece of shit. They have head up ass all over the place. They have made a philosophy that has the head in the ass and the ass on the neck and the what. I mean, it's just hideous, monstrous piece of shit garbage of a philosophy. It has no coherency to anything reasonable. And here you are nagging at me when I don't think you could find too much wrong with the Frankenstein I've built. I think I've built one hell of a fucking rational Frankenstein of a philosophy. I've taken what we've gleaned over thousands of years as facts and reality, and I've constructed this thing describing what we are and how we think and how we behave, and it's a damn fucking good monster. And here you are pissing about something. And I'm telling you, I don't know what the fuck you're pissing about, and you can't answer any of these questions directly. You got to keep playing these games. And then you're playing a game with the very fact that I'm critiquing the fact that you're not being direct, and I can't get a fucking straight answer out of you. And I still can't, because you're still misparaphrasing me as saying somehow I think I can change the actual end result future. When I said directly in my video that the only thing can change anything are active programs. So they're already changed. They're already decided by the past. So something that is already mechanically doing is going to be doing to other things that are doing and to other things that are doing. And that same principle applies to our behavior. A doer has to affect a doer, has to affect a doer. So people affect people. And there's no denying that. If you walked up to the woman with the lovely bottom and said, gee, you have a lovely bottom, but just that nose, holy shit. I mean, you would do to her, okay, that she would be done on. All right, and because of your doing, her day would be different than her day would be if you didn't do that. And you goddamn fucking know that. And so to argue that somehow I'm not supposed to do, that somehow the program isn't supposed to tell the program, isn't supposed to tell the program to do, and then do into the other people to try to make them do, to tell me that that's not what I'm supposed to be doing here, that I'm supposed to be trying to not do, that my programs are supposed to think doing is stupid, when doing is all they do is doing. Their whole point in existing, the whole reason why the program's running is to do. So why would it not do? Yeah, can you answer that question? Why should the program not do? And again, I would ask you to explain to me. You're critiquing, you're complaining, you're bitching about something that I am doing, and you're not telling me what it is beyond saying something stupid like, you think you're the center of the universe. When obviously the substance of my videos are layered, just covered with me saying things like human beings suck, human beings mean nothing, or blah, 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 blah. And merely because I concede that, that human beings do have poignancy here and there, that certain human beings make a bigger difference than other human beings. And I've even conceded that this stick could be the secret to the universe. Right there, that fucking stick could hold the destiny of the universe, through some scenario. That stick could be vital to the universe existing or not existing. It's possible in the sense that one can imagine scenarios where somebody discovers this truth because they don't get impaled on the stick, because they don't trip, like me, and then they discover some theory later in life that, allows you to create nuclear reactions in butterflies and blow up the universe. But anyway, I don't want to go through the scenario. I'm just saying I'm the one saying that kind of shit. So how can you possibly accuse me of thinking, as if I'm living from my focus and I can only see my existence and I can only blah, blah, blah. It's just such a crock of shit. It's such a fake accusation. And if you're going to make the accusation, I at least, I think, deserve you to say it directly. You're like going up to the woman with the big nose and saying, well, you have one hell of a bottom. But there are elements of your face that I can't stomach. I mean, you can't even say your nose. You can't even be honest when you're going to insult somebody. I mean, fuck this shit. So anyway, as for your website, I do read it. I mean, I'm angry with you, but I'm not going to not listen because I'm angry. But I mean, just, yeah, I'm frustrated. Whatever. Again, I got nothing to, there's no point in me saying this. So you have some underlying bug up your ass and you won't be explicit about what the fuck it is. I imagine it has something to do with some thing in your head that says, I'm not going to worry about the world. Okay, that's your Frankenstein. That's your ideology. You think it's too beyond the waste of your do programs to try to maximize your doing in the world, to get the most do out of you, because your do programs see that as important. You don't have a do program that's saying, you gotta do, you gotta do, you gotta do. You don't have one of those. I have one of those. I have one that envisions two worlds. One world where I don't say the woman has a big nose, and a world where I do say it, and I know they're different worlds. As imaginary models. I know they would be different. And so I know that it matters what I do. And so I'm just thinking rationally. I'm saying, well, what should I do? I'm asking my brain for its best guess at what the right thing for me to do is. And it's saying, well, it's likely that you're going to pave more road if you actually put on boots and put your paver suit on and take out your shovel and start shoveling the asphalt. That the road isn't going to get paved if you just sit there and say it'd be nice to have a new road. So obviously it seems like if you think a new road is a good idea, that you got to go out and do the road. That's the way it's going to get done. It's not going to get done by you just saying it'd be nice if there was one. Is that illogical? That's a monstrosity of an ideology, to recognize that things have to do for things to get done. Again, I've said this 5 times in videos now. Every fucking video that I've made in this series, I've said, how else do things get done except somebody has to do? And why shouldn't I listen to a program that says to me, do? Seems a perfectly rational thing to do. Do what the do program is doing. Yeah. So whatever. Just, I mean, all these inane assholes I have to put up with, and then you have to be a yob, and then you just sit there and say it's fine. This is just swell. So all these people with these Frankenstein hideous ideologies, and here you are 99% reasonable, and then when I need you to be reasonable, the 1% shows up and you turn into a fucking idiot. Some fucking person talking an obtuse jibber jabber. Stop doing. Stop thinking you're a doer. Oh, fuck you. I mean, it's obviously I'm a doer. I'm going to do things. Look, I'm going to put my finger in this hole. Is there a snake in there? I did it. There, I did something. Okay, yeah, I do things. And I think it's reasonable to recognize that the doing, the done will require doing. This needs doing. There, it got done. Because I did it. Yeah, if I didn't do it, it wouldn't have gotten done. That's a truth. Fuck. Yeah, enough. These little blue flowers really are quite lovely. Yeah, the weeds. Oh, look at that. Isn't that pleasant? Yeah, just grow all by them little old selves. Yes. It's really quite nice. This used to be buttercups in the ditch. So you'd have the yellow and the blue. There's a pile of them over there too. It's just, I have to sharpen my chainsaw, get rid of that stump. I got a lot of things to do. Yeah, I got a lot of things. Yeah, I got a lot of things to do. Save the world and garden. Yeah. The deers made a nice, look at that. That's all you get out of azaleas here. Because the deers take everything else. You get 3 flowers on your azaleas. And there's the happy cat. Meow. Yeah, we'll do a little bit of cat. It makes him feel important. Yes. You have a proper nose, I must admit, and you have a very lovely bottom. Yes, you do. You have a lovely bottom. Yes. Anyway, until next time. Such. Yeah. I was hoping it wasn't going to stay wet all day, but apparently it's going to.